Welcome to Property Focus. I'm Kate Miller. Making headlines this week, the start of a new month fails to deliver any improvement for auctions, and the Perth property market prepares for a revival. But first to our lead story. National real estate values were flat in February, and prospects for growth for the remainder of the year appear limited. Following a natural disaster-affected January, Australian capital city values recorded no growth in the second month of the year, RP Data and Rismark's latest index has revealed. Speaking with Property Focus, Cameron Kusher, RP Data's senior research analyst, said property investors should focus on long-term growth, with prices unlikely to boom in the nation's capitals anytime soon.
Pretty limited capital growth over the rest of the year. I wouldn't be surprised to see it flat to slight falls. So in real terms, if inflation's running at 2.5–3%, properties will actually become more affordable over the year. But yeah, across the board, not expecting too much growth. Sydney fairly flat. Melbourne may start seeing some slight declines later in the year, and Brisbane and Perth will probably continue to underperform and see some further slight declines.
Mr. Kusher said a more conservative attitude among investors and home buyers was one key driver behind the softer market conditions.
We've had a really strong last decade is probably the biggest thing, and affordability is stretched, interest rates are at higher levels, people are saving more. We're seeing that retail spend figures aren't particularly strong. If people aren't willing to go out to a shop and spend a couple of $1,000s, they're going to be even more reluctant to go and spend, a couple of $100,000, if not more, on a property. So I think it's that consumer conservatism that's holding back the market.
While Perth's property price growth continues to lag, the resource boom is expected to drive a turnaround in the Western Australian capital soon. Speaking to Property Focus, Gavin Hegney, Executive Chairman of Hegney Group, said buying opportunities were ripe for investors in Perth.
Perth's on the radar screens nationally as being the next hotspot or next growth city, if you like. We're seeing money coming out of Melbourne. We're seeing a lot of growth in Melbourne. Melbourne's now saying, well, where's the next spot? And the focus tends to be on Western Australia. Mainly the resources is the story, leading the market. Our market's come off. Our market's been off since 2006. So we've been off for 5 years now, and so it's due for its next upward phase.
Clearance rates failed to top the 60% mark in both Sydney and Melbourne in the first weekend of auctions for April. According to Australian property monitors, Sydney recorded a clearance rate of just 56.7%, while in Melbourne 59.7% of properties listed for auction were sold. Meanwhile, in Brisbane, 18.2% of the 45 properties listed for auction on April 2nd found a buyer, and 36.6% of listed properties in Adelaide were sold. Don't forget, the latest issue of Smart Property Investment magazine is out now. Pick up your copy to find out which suburbs are delivering investors the best returns for units and apartments in this month's cover story, Fast 50. And that's it for Property Focus today. I'm Kate Miller. See you soon.